With this symbolic service of annual commemoration, at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, the past and present meet in an act of solemn acknowledgement. The observation of the 2-minute silence is a moment of reflection and reminiscence, to honor the members of armed forces, who have died in the line of duty. Unique to this year's One Vision Remembrance Day service, were the number of personal reflections that individuals shared. Pastor Sam Davies, BUC Communication Director, displaying a photograph of his father in war uniform, gave a moving presentation focused on his father's experience of serving along other Commonwealth soldiers during the war. He states, "My father was among this large number of Commonwealth service members, who fought for the freedom we enjoy today. I still shudder when I remember one of the stories my father shared with us when growing up. He was a young soldier in his early 20s when he served. One of the boats from British West Africa was bound for Burma. My father said he didn't know what happened, but as fate would have it, they were disembarked on the coast of Freetown in Sierra Leone. They later learnt that the boat they should have been on was bombed. He could have lost his life like many others, and I wouldn't have been standing here today." Honorary Alderman Roy Clements looked back at a painful experience, when as a 6-year-old his father went off to war and he did not see him for 5 years. The tears flowed as he recounted the sad memory. Watford MP Dean Russell shared a poem that he had written in reflection of fallen soldiers. Scripted in the first person, the poem depicted an individual whose life was sacrificed on the battlefield. Watford Chief Inspector Diane Whiteside read a poem from a colleague who penned his experience of serving during the war years. BUC Director Sharon Platt MacDonald gave the keynote address on the power of remembering, and how God encourages us even in times of war, to look to Him for strength. 2 key attendees shared their impression of the day's event. One Vision founder and CEO Enoch Canagarage states, "This was a moving moment for us all, as we took time to acknowledge the sacrifice of others, so we can enjoy the freedoms we have today." Pastor Gute Tapp, Mission Connector at One YMCA Christian Mission Team, said, "Listening to reflections of those living through war times, combined with poems and thoughts by dignitaries, including an expressive poem from the children from Stanborough Primary School, was a touching experience. Indeed, the occasion was a dignified morning to remember as we attended this solemn event on November 11th at 11 a.m. We remember those who suffered injury, whether physically, emotionally, spiritually, or relationally, and whose battle scars remind us of the evils of hatred, the trauma of violent conflicts, and the high price of war. May God restore them." As each presenter took us back in time, we could see the preserving power of God's grace to sustain and fortify those whose lives have been spared.